Hi everybody, welcome to Key WAL. I don't have everything else. I got Gunther in the background getting everything ready, getting ready to leave. So I will turn the camera on in a second. So if you would just please bear with me, we've got a whole bunch of cool stuff to talk about. I've been having a big fun for the last few whole 2 weeks at work. Like I said, it is a lot of work. I wasn't wrong. There's a lot of things that are broken that do need to be fixed. But what I have found out during that first week is they know it's broken, but they never knew how to fix it, and they don't want to spend money to fix it if they know it's not the correct way. But if you show them that it's the correct way and this is the correct thing to fix and this is how you fix it, they pay to get it fixed. Don't even hesitate. It was surprising. It was just like, well, we never knew that was, we knew that was, or they'd go like, well, we knew that was bad, but we didn't know where else to do. So they just kind of stuck with it because it worked. Just like the networking scheme they have right now, they wanted to create a private network on the network for these servers. So what they did, are you ready for this? Put in a bunch of routers to create a private network on the network, and then complained about speed on the inside of that network. I know.
What was on the inside of that network, though?
Printers.
So they just create a private network for printers, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a database, not a server, nothing, nada. It wasn't an email thing. It wasn't cold storage archives. It wasn't customer data. That's somewhere else and behind a different firewall. But this thing, and they're like, well, it's just slow and it keeps crashing. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, well, it's slow because when it comes into it, it hits our router. We hit it through it goes through our firewall, our D-packet inspection, and then you guessed it, and then it hits another router. Well, first it's got to go through the congestion of our network. Then it hits another router, and that router's got to look at it now. But that router, since it's on the network, is looking at everything that comes through it. So it's in a line. Fun times. Anyways, joined usually by Reinhold. That's his Reinhold. Sorry, poor introduction. We didn't have a proper show in so long. I lost my way.
It's all right. I'm here. Let's have fun.
Yeah, going to have fun today. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun show. But like I said, I've been having a ball these last few weeks. I bought some computers. I bought. I did get denied for my monitor request when I bought new monitors. Requesting for new monitors, I got denied. My boss said he didn't want 24-inch 1080p monitors for everybody. Can you believe that? He didn't want that. And you know what monitor size and resolution he wanted? You're not going to believe it.
What's that?
He wanted 27-inch 2K monitors. 25, 65, 1440.
I'd like that. Can I get one?
I was like, what? I was like, I just want to get monitors and not get I don't have to worry about monitors for like at least 5 to 10 years. Yeah, pretty much. We're not doing 4K, so yeah. these will be fun.
Put a couple extra in on that order and sell them off back of the truck.
I hope I get 2. I'm gonna get 2. So I'm gonna get 2 of these 20.
You can't just have one monitor. That's just not going to work.
Right. So I told him, like, can I get 2? I was like, what's wrong with your 24? Well, this one I could put to the side, go to 3 monitors, and this one to the side, and that's just all command line all the time. But then the 227s, I can like see everything. I can put solar winds on this one. See? And he goes, no.
No, if you just got one monitor, you might as well just be running a wind-up laptop in Serengeti somewhere.
Yeah. I'll tell him that. That's what I'll tell him. But anyways, that has been, my work week. Ooh, we got some other people in the Walter Stream room. We've got original character Do Not Steal,
Okay.
and we got the one Sailor Moon, fresh from not completely losing in the election, getting 2K votes. Sailor Moon.
That's higher than what I get as a libertarian. So winning.
That is true. You were what 600 votes higher than as a libertarian.
Yeah, 600 people that would probably vote for Mark now. So winning.
Woo! We got some bits. Woo! Thank you, like now, for some bits. Woo! Bits. Thank you. We got bits. All right, so like I said, I've got some cool things to talk about. The main thing I do want to talk about and get on the discussion is about changing the day and time of Key WAL. Doing it on Wednesday with the new job, yeah, it's going to be kind of taxing on me, and for the simple fact that once we do start this new move, I have really know what my schedule is going to be. So only way I can possibly confirm, right, that I know I can be able to do Key WAL, I know I'll be able to do it and do it for you guys and hang out with you guys and have the energy that you guys expect here on the Key WAL when we hang out in the basement, is we're going to probably have to switch it to Friday nights right after Liberty and Chill. So it'll be like 10:30 after Liberty, so like Liberty chills into 10:30. We start this thing up. We'll do some we'll do Key WAL and run right into wall gaming after that. It's one way I know to confirm. I don't know if we'll stay that way forever. It possibly can change, but my next month is going to be, it's either move like this way for a month or two, or stop for a month or two while we do this, while I'm busy all these nights doing moving the facility from one area of Indianapolis to the other, fixing all those other issues and everything else that's wrong there. So I get some long nights ahead of me, so this just seemed like the better solution. So if some people watch the show, you guys are the regulars, the hardcores. If you guys gotta can think of if you guys don't like it, we can tweak, we can miss some things. Granted, like the awesome idea would be to do it at the same time, but on Friday in the middle of Liberty and Chill. But I don't know if that's a possibility because the noise level that goes there. So.
Well, plus if you do that, then you're going to be focused on doing the podcast, which means you wouldn't be able to hang out, which is kind of the whole point of Liberty and Chill, is hanging out and socializing. So
correct. Yes. Let's see. Key WAL is in the house. Even better time for me unless I'm going out at night. Oh, so like that's a better time for you. I know a lot of people said they can't make Wednesdays, but like Friday, that might be the night. We may have found the actual real sweet spot of Key WAL. So
you're trying to tell me the libertarians have social lives? I mean, I don't know if I believe you on that.
They have incredible social lives. Okay, all right, okay, incredible. All right, and I'm shocked that Friday night's a good night. Shocked, I say. But so we'll play with this. So this way you'll be able to keep with the current format and be able to have that in there without having to go a hiatus. While I moved the whole department, which is going to be fun. I got the new computers already purchased. Monitors are purchased. They wanted to purchase new keyboards and mice for some reason. I don't know why. Because one of the guys said they hate the plastic of them, and I was like, well, I love Dell keyboards, so I think I'll be the wrong person. Dell keyboards and Mad Catz mice, so if you want good quality keyboards and mice for someone to go out to, you're asking the wrong person, because I'd go to Mad Catz or Dell and get the Dell keyboards and
we get a bunch of Corsair mechanicals or something. Yeah.
You know what? I should probably put that on. I should have put that in the order. But so we got so we're getting these so we got these computers. They're gonna come in. It was also weird having that conversation with the other IT staff when I was trying to tell them, like, because I asked, where's the rest of you sysadmin would love this one. I asked, do we have a Microsoft what is it the what is that license called? It's the I'm saying it all day.
The enterprise agreement.
Yeah, the enterprise, not the enterprise agreement,
Or the
the
open.
other one, the open one where you
The
can
open?
like the ability to deploy, like you own the licenses, and you can just deploy on all your machines.
Yeah, well,
Something to-
both do that. Enterprise is a little bit more.
Yeah.
You have to kind of negotiate and everything else. Open
Yeah.
is more of a just buy as you need.
Right? Yeah, right. And they're like, well, we don't have that. It's like, then how in the world are you just deploying Windows? Well, we got this, and I'm like, oh, you use a USB drive. We're gonna stop that. We're gonna get this license, and we're gonna go get some real Windows CDs and use their equipment. I'm not saying Microsoft will send their lawyers to us, but if they come on the door, I want to be legit.
Well, Microsoft won't come after you that way. They'll come after you and go, "Hey, we noticed you're out of compliance. Let us help you get in compliance."
Yeah. You're probably right. They'll probably do it that way, and and without warning. So I'd rather do it our way with warning, and considering that we have to bought new machines, and I didn't get ones with COAs on them anyways, so we'll have to get Windows 10 COAs and push it to the machines. It's a perfect time to get compliant, right?
Now, the obvious question is going to get asked, so I'll ask it.
Okay.
Why not just go Linux?
Well, I thought about that. Okay, I really did. Right? I thought about going Linux, but I couldn't get I got in dependency hell with the soft phone they want to use, and I couldn't convince and them to get off the soft phones and go to hard phones. But I did convince one department, the customer service rep. They were convinced to go to hard phones, and they're getting hard phones. She liked hard phones because I told them I can completely lock down it's like it's too hard to lock down the network and what they can do, because if it's managed too much, they'll get poor voice quality. But if all the phones go through a different network, then the phones will be fine. And she's like, make it so. And I was like, yes, hard phones.
Well, what about the VDI thing you were talking about?
They like that idea. They want to do something like that, but they said, as of right now, they don't want to pursue that. They said possibly in the future when they finally, if they balloon out to the new suite that they go to. So they basically say if the current staff has to get larger because of the influx of computers, because there's no way that the three of us can manage all those machines by ourselves, then they'll hire one on and then go to thin client VDIs.
So in deployment, are you going to use something like deployment services from Windows Deployment Services or SCCM?
See, like that? I thought about using Windows Deployment Services, but I really do love the Fog project, because then I can leave. I like it. It's very simple. I don't like the fact that I have like this server sitting over there, and I don't. And I didn't like it that I can't really control who it's. Well, I can once I get into the settings. The settings are kind of wonky. I really do like Fog because it's really cool. It's slick in Linux. But when it comes down to it, because I need to get it done in a week, I'm probably just going to use the Microsoft Windows deployment.
Well, deployment services is great for getting the workstations out there quickly.
Mm-hmm.
The SCCM is much more for managing them after they're out there.
Yeah.
So you can do the deployment too, but it also, like, if you want to push out a new application package, you just assign it to the people. It automatically installs the background, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm,
and you can see what's going on, who's using it.
And they don't have like 10 machines all downloading Windows Update at one time, which was annoying these past 2 weeks, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Because all the machines were downloading the updates. I'm like, man, I really wish I had like one machine downloading the update, and then I could just push it through.
Well, that WSUS will do that for you. So.
Yeah, I do. But I did find out also that our PBX client, they have a physical server on our network. That's where our voice over IP solution. It's a physical server on the network, and they do not want it back. So I get a PowerEdge 710. So like, sweet. This thing's gonna be doing so many jobs.
Yeah, Hyper-V that sucker and throw a bunch of machines on it, a bunch of servers on it.
I know. I have no idea what it's running. I haven't really poked around into it because it's the PBX. So I don't really touch it. I barely have access to it, so I'm just gonna deban and completely erase the hard drive, and have no idea if it has a code. I'm hoping it has a Windows Server code on it. I hope it does. Probably doesn't. It's probably running Linux.
Probably not.
Or,
I mean, if it was purchased, it probably has one signed somewhere, because I doubt that they bought it without the license.
correct. Yeah. Who does that, right?
Smart.
Who does that? All right. So, not to the. I'm sure we're boring everybody with the tech talk. Let's move on, because I'm sure you guys don't want to hear about the ins and outs of the tech thing of my job. The one thing I do want to do is to get this going, because I've been jamming to this song for like 2 weeks, and I've never really like shared it. Well, not 2 weeks. It's been like months, because it comes out on the. I listened to this podcast. It's a fun podcast, unlike the other podcasts that we're Libertarians. It is a DJ podcast. It's a bunch of DJs. They make mixes and they do their sets, and so they take new music, mix it all together, and then make these cool like dance track sets. And then they take breaks in the middle. They tell you about where you can find the new music, where you can go find this stuff, right? And I like it because it's a very different and cool, interesting way to discover new music. I wish more DJs would do this. I wish this idea would catch on. And I'm targeted to the party, but the podcast is called Communion After Dark Radio. It does goth industrial stuff, and so if you're not into that, I don't care. It's what I like. Maybe someone in the future, hopefully in the future, does like maybe a hip hop one or a country DJ station, or kind of like how Christy does her radio station, where she puts all the funny musics out there, because some of them I've never heard of or I've seen or something, but she'll find these deep cuts of things like, wow, this is freaking hilarious. So I enjoy my drive into Wall every Tuesday. Gonna get to listen to that. So the song I'm gonna play is called Rocket Man. Yeah.
The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime. The United States is ready, willing, and able, but hopefully this will not be necessary. Now North Korea's reckless pursuit of nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles threatens the entire world with unthinkable loss of human life.
Now, I really do like listening to it right now, especially after everything this has, basically transpired. Like the whole peace talks is like, because to think of how the world was a couple months ago, and kind of like scary, and just like brought up this whole like, and especially since it's like, it's an industrial track. Hey, I got a resub! Woo, right home! Resub! Woo, resub! Resub! What is that, 4 months in a row? Resub. Thank you, right home. Thanks for the sub. But it shows you how scary the world was, and how much of a different place that we're in now because of it. That song is, of course, Rocket Man, on Reactor Records. I'm going to drop the link here. So if you guys, I'd put it also in the Discord so you can listen to that on your own, have fun with it, enjoy it. Go in the chat. Okay, there it goes. I was like, did it go in there? I didn't see it. Like, for some reason, it wasn't scrolling for some reason. I don't know.
Well, I have a TV recommendation when you're ready for that.
Last TV show you recommended to me,
you still haven't got up with, so I'm gonna hear it.
Made me wanna. I would, but like I said, it drove me to put me in a dark place. That's all I can say. Put me in a dark place.
I told you it's after the second season. It's the best show on TV.
Woo! We got another sub. Lick no, thanks for the sub. Woo! Woo! Sub, you rock! Yeah, we got some subs. Sub train. All right, so yeah.
But listen to this. Listen to the premise behind this TV show. It is how do I explain it? It's you remember the movie Karate Kid?
Yes.
Okay, the original Karate Kid, not the one that came out recently, somewhat recently.
What we try to say? Will Smith's son isn't the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan?
Just saying.
As he learns kung fu in the wushu in the Karate Kid.
Why are you learning wushu instead of karate if it's called the Karate Kid? I haven't figured that one out yet. Anyway, so there's a TV show that is the extension of the movie, taking place, however many years later. It's taking place in present day, and it stars Billy Zabka, who played Johnny, the Cobra Kai guy.
Yeah,
and it stars Ralph Macchio, who played the Karate Kid.
Danielson.
And it's basically them reconnecting and reigniting their rivalry after however many years because of a series of circumstances.
Ooh. All right. Okay.
And it's actually very good. The acting is excellent. The writing is good. It's well done. Especially if you're a guy like me who grew up in the 80s and this was the stuff that the first couple episodes are for free out on YouTube. It's YouTube Red Show, and there's a lot of good '80s music in it. And the first episode actually flashes back to the movie like 3 or 4 times, little snippets and scenes in the movie that it references.
Oh, so you just got Amazon Prime. Enjoy it. There's tons of lists out there that allow you to things that you can buy on Amazon that will quickly get you your Amazon Prime money back just from the fact that you're getting it cheaper on Amazon or just because it's free shipping. It's really, really cool. I love it. I get my money back all the time with Prime because
the 2-day shipping is great. And also all of the TV shows now and movies that you have access to on Prime Videos.
Top Gear, Grand Tour. You can now watch Runaway Slave. Like I said, it was on Amazon Prime. It's on a Prime movie. That's a really good movie. That Runaway Slave. That's a really good one. Doctor
Who is another one.
Yeah, but after Eccleston, just stop. Nothing else happened after that.
That's when it got good, man.
Just stop at Eccleston. No.
I'm a original series Doctor Who fan, so we don't need to be talking. That was probably one of the worst.
How dare you? He was the best. He was the best Doctor of all time.
No, the Doctor we just had was the best. There's no question in anybody's mind that he was the best Doctor ever.
Eccleston, I know. Moving from rural Kansas to Atlanta. So I'll be using. So moving to rural. So you moved to Kansas. Yeah, that's like the flattest state. That's just.
Yeah, but he's moving from Atlanta, so he's probably now got twice the money he used to have.
Oh man,
it's like I can buy a house here for half of what my rent was. What?
Yeah, I recommend if you live in Kansas, get a Jeep. You won't need it in Kansas, but you can drive to Colorado and have fun though. So get a toy Jeep. It'll be fun. You'll love it. What? Have you never been to Colorado with your Jeep? It's a lot of fun.
Never been to Colorado with my Jeep, but we have hills in southern Indiana.
That's not the same. It's not the same.
Well, I'm 50, so.
Hey, weekender.
I have to take a slower.
Alrighty. Now moving on to an article that I'm supposed to because one, I'm really into cars. Okay, so plan is to trade my Liberty for a Wrangler. I approve.
He's going to get an actual Jeep.
You're going to put the Dodge the what is it? It's really just a Dodge Dart with a box kit. So he went to Colorado, rented a 4x4, abused it horribly. Yeah. You know, that's what you do. You just abuse them.
Get the insurance, have fun.
Honestly, if you're renting anything, you can treat anything like if it's rented, you got full coverage on it. Treat it just it's the fastest car in the world because you can just beat on it. But all right, so it's an op-ed piece, the New Jersey Opinion, which is cool. I liked it. I know it's just an opinion piece, but to me, it brings some truth. So, for a decision to drop cars, motorists are being driven to extinction. Which, as someone who appreciates the drive and just being on the road, and can't be stuck with these idiots who do not understand how to drive a car or really understand it, because I know I'm not the best driver in the world. I know this. I've been around people who can drive a lot better than I can. But when I'm out on the road, it drives me freaking nuts because they just, I don't know. It's just logic goes out the window of some of these people. But anyways, so I've seen the future and it is grim. I'm talking about the recent decision by Ford to stop making cars of the traditional four-door variety. Ford executives announced recently that the company will be discounting production of cars like the Fusion, Taurus in favor of pickups and SUVs. The Mustang will be saved. Really? I don't think it is. Okay, the newer Mustang is getting better. It can actually corner now, so I'll give it that. But anyways, but it's targeted at a demographic that's quickly disappearing. People who actually like to drive. There's still some of us left, but it's a dangerous world out there for anyone trying to navigate a car and the convoy of monster trucks that occupy the American road. I discussed this the other day with G. Clotorzo, the French-born anthropologist who was consulted with a number of car companies on automotive design. Raphael is famed in the field of noting how the typical American favors what he terms the reptilian brain when it comes to vehicle choice. The reptilian brain says that you are more powerful and more in control when you look down on other people, Raphael told me. He said his intense studies of focus group showed studies even highly educated women channel their inner reptiles when it comes to cars. They all said, I love the SUV because I can look down on the guy in his Porsche, she said. They feel more safe and secure than SUV. Raphael himself drives a Porsche, but he knows he is in a losing battle when it comes to cars. Ford found that out when it tried to market nimble little cars like the Focus. I think it was a mistake for Americans to concentrate on small cars. That goes against the American archetype. I said Raphael, who moved here in his youth. When do you have enough money? Never. When is your house big enough? Never. When is your car big enough? Big enough? Never. Raphael knows whereof he speaks. He lives a couple blocks from Mar-a-Lago and Palm Beach, but vies for title of the world capital of wretched excess. So it's so common to have a Rolls Royce that people want something different, he said. That has led to such vehicles as the $100,000 pickup truck, he said. Another expert on the automotive industry told me that such monster trucks are actually encouraged over cars under current federal regulation. Here's the federal government picking winners and losers. Industry experts Bruce Bilowski said the federal government inadvertently aided in the demise of the domestic car when the big three car makers were in near recession. The Obama administration reacted by crafting fuel economy regulation that favors so-called light trucks, pickup trucks, and SUVs over cars. Under the Cafe regs, a small car has to get 45 miles per gallon, while a large pickup truck can get away with 25 miles per gallon. The bigger the vehicle comes with more with profit margins, so it's a mystery why cars are being phased out. Bilowski said, the reason the Obama administration puts it in that way is they didn't want to put the U.S. companies out of business, said Bilowski. I think they thought gas prices would stay high. With high gas prices, the physics picked of the regs would lead to a mix of 60% cars and 40% pickup trucks and SUVs, he said. But when gas prices dropped, the 60-40 mix went the other way. That led to the domestic car makers to abandon car production to the foreign brands, he said. But that's not the end of the bad news for car lovers, he said. We drivers or ourselves are slowly becoming obsolete, said Bilowski. Bilowski is the managing director of Automotive Futures Group, based in Ann Arbor. From where he sits, it looks like the future is going to be self-driving cars. It's going to be this long transition period until people give up driving. As people get used to the such features as super cruise control, which keeps the vehicle in its lane at highway speeds, they will eventually get used to taking their hands off the wheel, he said. That's sad. I love driving. It's so much fun. I don't understand it. The next step might be.
I used to drive an El Camino, and let me tell you how white trash I was. Like those cars that made you. I like those cars. Like they had like a steel body, and you could pop them up on a lift kit. You know what I mean? And like peel out in the parking lot at the Taco Bell, and people and women were like, "Hell yeah, niece!" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I got Bud Light at my house. What up, girl?"
I can read some of the chat.
That's American as fuck.
Yep.
American as fuck.
Let's see a whole lot of Toyota Corollas, but yeah, but like Toyota can get away with it because of also like cafe centers because they sell so many Priuses. That's why I have to say so many Priuses. They get the average on the cafe center, so they get away with it. That's why so many car manufacturers makes these throwaway hybrids or electric cars that no one buys just to get around the cafe standards. Averages.
Ford just announced though. Ford just announced they're getting rid of the Escort. All their cars. I mean, they're going just the trucks almost.
Yeah. And yet no one makes a mini truck anymore. Ford does make the Ranger, barely make the Ranger, but they'd rather you go to the bigger truck because it's it's cheaper, better margins, or their van that they have. They make a minivan. My God, this article is so urban city oriented. Yeah. Well, it kind of is. Well, that's the thing. When it comes to most people who buy cars, you expect to be someone in a big city would like something small and nimble, and that's not being the case. Most people are buying these gigantic SUVs. They don't know how to drive. They don't know how to park it. The computer does most of his stuff for them, but when the computer freaks out or they have to do something, they have no idea what to do. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they buy the big trucks and thinking, "Oh, I'm going to need this to haul stuff," and they don't ever use those things.
Yeah, their hitches are rusty because they never attach anything to it, or they have the paint on it, or they just put the truck nuts. Truck nuts.
You know who's really responsible for that? The Nissan Titan XL. God damn you, Nissan.
Well, you wonder what the car industry would look like if the government would just stay the heck out of it and let them design cars for what people want.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Nissan did. Nissan was like, we're not selling our old like Altimas anymore because Nissan's biggest seller was the Altima, and so the only people buying that were like 35-year-old like mid-career women that it's like, oh, it's my cute little blue Altima that I could drive around with like the 5 buttons on the front. But then they started making like the Titan because Nissan already made trucks. They made like semi trucks that you could transport like a whole bunch of shit back and forth. That's what they use in like Europe and in Asia. But they started like, what if we can make a pickup truck? So it was like a pickup truck that wasn't an American pickup. It's not like a Chevy or a Ford or a Dodge. It's just random, Asian pickup truck that people just bought and drove. It's like, man, it's a slick looking truck. And they just made it huge. Like, it's a huge ass truck that you can buy from Nissan that was super cheap. And people just picked up on those like all the time.
My backup camera, so if I can save one life. Yeah, I got frustrated with my boss because when he backed up his car, he would look just at the backup camera, not the mirrors. He would just right in the backup camera and go, bruh. And then there's Mazda, right? Mazda went total 4-cylinder. All these cars are 4-cylinders. Every last one of them. There's not one 4. All these just 4-cylinder. They're all 4 cylinders now, or in the diesel. And the diesel. Don't forget about the diesel, because because Europeans love diesels.
The other article too. They start talking about self-driving cars. Do people really think that's going to be a thing in the next 10 years?
No. The federal government will put a halt to that. They don't like that innovation. I like the idea.
It's not that. I just don't think the technology is going to.
Yeah, that's true. For some things, like for long haul truckers, it makes sense.
They'll fuck up when the GPS fucks up. Like when you go to Carmel, Indiana currently, and if you haven't updated your GPS map, like it's like, okay, the highway's right here, but the highway is no longer there. Like they moved the highway like 500 feet somewhere else and made it a roundabout. So like when you go to Carmel, your GPS is like, hey, just turn left here, and you look out there and it's just like a building. It's like what? It's like you have to drive through, and that's just going from Carmel to like Westfield and Kokomo, from that highway injunction, because they redid the whole highway system, but they haven't updated the GPS yet. So the GPS updates, maybe every year when they get the mapping people out there to redo it. So people that are running like, the last, update in the GPS system don't have those updates on the system yet. So self-driving cars will function partly on what they can see in front of them, what they can see on the back of them and the sides, but mostly through GPS. This is the highway you're supposed to be on. We're going to go here. And you'll have a self-driving car just hang a hard right and crash into a hospital.
Hopefully that
well, even they say when you're operating a car, you're not supposed to take your hands away too long, and you have to put your hands back on the wheel every so often to keep things going, because you have to still have some human interaction and control, because the computers just aren't going to be able to make all of the decisions you need to make to drive safely.
You just put an orange in there. I've seen that video. You just put the orange right there, and you just cruise and fall asleep.
Yeah, but that's how. What about the guy who just died recently because he went through a place and the car adjusted wrong and turned him right into an embankment and killed him?
Well, it's even better when it differentiate between summer and winter. It's like, oh, we're on I-70. There's a couple potholes. It's like, let's just go 65 miles per hour in like dead of winter.
Yeah, I would like to see the AI dodge potholes. It'd be great.
I mean, it's a great theory, and I think maybe in 20, 25, 30 years maybe, but I just don't think it's going to happen the next decade. Not as a thing, really.
If everyone drives SUVs, we don't need more roads, paved more roads anymore. We can have gravel if everyone drives SUVs. There you go. Dirt roads. Going back to dirt roads.
The correct vehicles.
I live on a gravel road, and that's not. No, it's not. It destroys your car so much.
So is that why you had to go for the Rubicon? You're like, no, I could not even play it around.
No, that's why I'm always having to mess with the tie rod ends and everything else in the car, because it's too much damage to them. They're not made for them anymore.
If a road is destroying a Rubicon, that road is disgusting. Okay, I want to put it out there. I don't know if I want it.
It's Putnam County. Yeah, it's disgusting. They don't take care of these roads. The farmers take care of it more than the county does.
May have to build a rally car to come out there and just put around. All right, let me go finish this article real quick. The next step might be to permit only autonomous vehicles enter cities. Eventually, we old-fashioned drivers might be restricted to some country roads where we can drive around in circles waving at each other. As for me, I'll give up my stick shift when they pry it from my cold, dead hands, when they'll probably do it after I get run over by a self-driving SUV. Plus, the Wall Street Journal gets it. Most of the media seems to be run by people who don't care about cars, actively hate them. Well, that's the thing. Majority of people hate cars. They only really use them to get from point A to point B. It's the only reason car manufacturers keep buying, have the ability to sell the same crap over and over and over again and call it new. This is the reason why the muscle car era, you can tell each different year of a car from the way it looks, because people weren't going to buy the same crap each year. But guess what? Most cars right now looks the same through the model years. Then it'd be like little changes in there, little small snippets in there. So, the stick shifting, I feel you. I love shifting gears, right? But there's some people that don't. They don't want to. And now automatic transmissions are actually faster than you can shift it. But that's not the point. The point is shifting. That's why Porsche went ahead and made a GT3 with a proper gearbox in it, even though they know it's going to shift slower. But they said, but people didn't buy the car for speed. They bought it because they wanted to drive. So there's that.
Well, parking has an issue to do with it too. When you drive cars and you drive all these cars all the time, you have cars everywhere, and people just hate parking. That's the worst part of driving, especially in a metro area where it's like, hey, I want to go eat at a restaurant. I have to drive for 15 minutes. Then you're forced to pay $25 to go park at the parking garage. And then you run out of space in the parking garages, and then you have to build a new parking garage, and you have homeowner communities and business communities being like, no, fuck you, or you're not building a parking garage here. So you don't get any new parking. Broad Ripple is notorious for this. It's like getting somewhere to park in Broad Ripple is a pain in the ass. You're parking in the grass by a creek. That's just where you're parking. because there's no space. You know, so people just don't want to drive. So like, you know, fuck it. We'll just Uber there. We'll take a taxi there. We'll ride on the bus. We'll walk there. You know, because they just don't want to deal with, you know, coming to Broad Ripple late at night, then trying to get through the traffic jam in the center of Broad Ripple, for example, then finding a place to park that's like 4 miles out from your destination where you have to walk to anyway. And then when you have to walk drunk back to your car and get in your car and you're in a traffic jam again.
Yes, I feel you. Yeah, like to me, it was so much easier. What I used to do to get into Broad Ripple, it was so much easier to now to park my car at like Glendale Mall, well, formerly Glendale Mall, and just walk into Broad Ripple. So much less hassle. So much less hassle. Oh,
Why
Well,
is it
a lot of that can be solved just by putting an intercity rail, right?
the old ideas. Trains are No, trains are dumb. Okay, all right. They're a dumb idea because they're subsidized. If they have to be subsidized, they would fail. They would fail miserably. So we don't need that. No. I'm a recent chap. Hey, it's Christy. Hi, Christy. She says she's on the desktop app and appears to be working at the moment, sitting on the porch with the princess. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, you know what? I did forget to share this out on everybody. I apologize. I feel bad now to share it and remind everybody what's going to happen. There's so much federal safety regulations basically just dictate the form and shape of many vehicles nowadays. Man, I hate today's huge front pillars. Let's put a giant spot in the Yeah, the front pillar is such a blind spot on a lot of cars. It's honestly, I have issue with most cars after 93. There's exceptions, like I love my RX-8. I love the Dodge Neon from 95 to 99. Actually, all Dodge Neons. I love them all. Even when it had its identity crisis in 2000, when it's really finding out what it was. But anyway, so I got a cool video that we're going to watch, and we can continue talking about cars after the video, but I just want to watch this video. I love this video. I share it to people, so very cool.
What if it's a Neo Geo Sport?
Oh, those are fun. Those are good rally cars. Okay, those are the cars you rally.
Just pop out your Jeep Wrangler, your fucking Suzuki with your New Balances on, being like, let me tell you about the free market.
Species, you and I. We, lovers of speed. We, devotees of power, performance, and noise. Go away, we are told, and take your carbon fibre and your fire-spitting V12s with you. There's hardly a place for us out here anymore, not amongst all the commuters and congestion. Not in this growing age of safety and restraint. Where practicality trumps adrenaline. Where the ratio of miles to the gallon is championed over horsepower to the weight. The evidence is everywhere. You and I are being squeezed out, pushed aside and hunted down at every hairpin turn. And yet, there is hope. There is a safe haven. A place where we are free to challenge conventions, push the laws of physics and drive our powerful, our beautiful machines hard. It's not a racetrack in Germany or even a highway in Montana. It's not even a real place, actually. It's more than that. It's a communal celebration of horsepower, torque, grip, leather, technology, beauty. It is the last bastion of automotive lust. And it's right there in your living room.
Oh yeah. It's a Forza Motorsport 4 commercial. But you know what? It speaks to me. You know, like the whole idea, like we're being squeezed out. No one likes us anymore. No one likes our cars. Like every time I go anywhere, it's got Clarkson. You know, Jezza. Every time I go anywhere in the RX-8, especially with Gunther in the back, that's all I hear is like, "Why do you have that? You should get a minivan or something else." Why? I comfortably fit in that. Don't you need more room? Room for what? I got plenty of room here. I got more room than you do. If I need to haul something, I've got my station wagon, right? And don't get me wrong, it's easier to move things around in the station wagon. But most of the time, when I'm just taking her from the babysitters to work and to home and stuff like that, these little small trips, my small car, my small little RX-8, it does the job perfectly fine. And it's and when I get there to the babysitter, there's all these people in these massive SUVs with 2 people in it for some awful reason. It makes no sense. I am not planning on having 5 kids. One's enough. That was such a traumatic experience on me that I'm fine with 1 right now. So yeah, as I said, like it's that really touched me because most people they don't like big cars and stuff like that. People complain about the miles a gallon on the RX-8 or the Jeep or the V8s, the Camaros and stuff like that. I love these cars. They're freaking awesome. I love cars that do stuff like that, and I love the experience of driving. Just like some people look at people who ride motorcycles as crazy, as they get on there like they have nowhere to go. They're just out riding. Yeah, I do that with a car. It's a lot of fun. Like gas is so expensive. Yeah, but I'd rather buy a tank of gas and put it in the RX-8 and use it all in one night. It's still cheaper than most bar tabs. So that's where I get my fun. I love gas. I love using gasoline. So that's cars, man. So what do you guys? So okay, all right. So what are you guys' true opinion on that? To me personally, I think we are being squeezed. Car manufacturers are being squeezed out. Well, not car manufacturers, but drivers are being squeezed out. No one wants to because the multiple commuters, the soccer mom, they got that. This is what they want because they don't care about the car. Look at the car like dear leader drives. Most people got these boring, know nothing cars. So they might as well just be boxes with wheels and just have some. And they're painted these ugly gray colors with no soul, no emotion into them.
That has to do with the Japanese and Korean markets that build plants here. Like we don't allow like American manufacturers. We don't even Harley Davidson's kind of going bankrupt at this time. So American cars are going bankrupt. The only time we build cars here anymore is when we have a trade deal with Korea or we have a trade deal with Taiwan or Japan. And we say, you can sell your Hyundais, whatever you want here, as long as we build like a seatbelt here or we build a drivetrain or something ridiculous like that.
Mm-hmm.
So your market gets flooded with that. Like here in Lafayette, right? Up here in Lafayette, the biggest car plant here is Subaru. So everybody drives a Subaru in Lafayette. So everybody's car looks the same. They're all Subarus. It's the biggest job creator in, Tippecanoe County. So, when people we'll talk about the Subaru, like, oh yeah, I got the Subaru plant. We get like 20% off the car here at the Subaru plant. So everybody drives the Subarus. It's not so much as like the small cars going away. It's just you're getting boxed out by Japanese and Korean competitors who have a function for formality. Like they don't build cars to be unique. They build a large scale of them to basically sell at low profit, So it's just like, here's 50 types of cars that are the same thing, but they work in, Japan, they work in Korea, so they'll work here too, and people buy them. So you're just buying the same, Japanese shit over and over and over and over, and they don't really innovate their cars. They just keep them the same. They just add new features to it. It's all about the features. That's all the Japanese do is add more features.
But the Japanese do make cars, powerful cars, cars with souls, cars with beings on it, though. They still do that. But you're right, majority of them are, because Mitsubishi took away the Evo. It is kind of like depressing to watch the car company that did make the 8.6. They made the Supra. They make Priuses too.
Well, we all can't be initial D, so it's like, it's just if you it just happens, it's just people don't buy Harley Davidsons, people don't buy Indian anymore, and Indian's a really unique motorcycle company. Mm-hmm. It's got like a long history in the US. They don't buy them anymore because it's just so out of the box, and people are just like, why I'll just go buy this crotch rocket that was 200 miles per hour, on the highway, so I'll just buy the crotch rocket. The only people that buy like Harley Davidson and Indian anymore are basically biker, clubs that are like 40, 50-year-old boomers, 60-year-old boomers that just bike around town for like benefits shows. That's the only people that buy them anymore.
Yeah.
For here, it's like, if you're not buying like your, mega.
James, we've got a question in the chat. What was your vote total? Do you know yet? We can only assume he's been droned, right? Yeah. But yeah, I love some of the Subarus, the WRX, the STIs. These are beautiful cars. The BRZ, beautiful cars. With soul in it. What I'm talking about is like the Chrysler 200. Everything Buick has made since the Grand National. Because remember, Pontiac, except the Vive, used to make cars like the excitement edition. They would make these exciting, cool cars. Granted, I hated most of them, but they were at least exciting and ridiculous.
I guess I'm the fuddy-duddy who represents the purely utilitarian car guys.
Unfortunately, I just don't get it. But the thing is, I kind of get it because, you're in the car. You're just looking for something that gets you from point A to point B, and I get that. And there's more of you than there are of me. I'm used to that. It's just annoying. The serious lack of innovation in the motorcycle segment, yet again, likely because of government regulation. Yeah, I've been noticing that because I was looking at it, trying to thought about getting another motorcycle. While I wait to until I finish the wiring on mine, and it's looking at them, they're like, these are all the same bikes with different years on it. And then, to me personally, I think a lot of the Harley bikes are completely overpriced for what they are when they get sold. And then some of them are depressing when I see a bike, like a Harley bike. They're like, "Oh, this thing's brand new." They look brand new. Literally, look, someone took it, put 2,000 miles on it, and then parked it for 3 years. I'm like, I'm done. That was fun. Rode it all summer. Did all these trips. It went on a trip, and then parked it. Never really been driven, written hard. But then again, the Kia, right? Your Kia Soul, that has soul. That has some heart to it. That car has some excitement. It got a, it's not all right. It may be kind of boxy, but it's designed very well. To me, I really want one because the entire car screams, "Please supercharge me." I want a supercharger. That's what the car to me looks like. It's just I want to supercharge me. Let's go roast some Crown Vics. That's what that car looks like to me. Alright, so we're going to go to our last video of the night. This is a good one. You guys all like this one. This one, people have been talking about. People are freaking out. Kind of talked to Ryan about this, but you guys will get the point.
As I said earlier, our vision for our assistant is to help you get things done. It turns out a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. You may want to get an oil change schedule, maybe call a plumber in the middle of the week, or even schedule a haircut appointment. We are working hard to help users through those moments. We want to connect users to businesses in a good way. Businesses actually rely a lot on this, but even in the US, 60% of small businesses don't have an online booking system set up. We think AI can help with this problem. So let's go back to this example. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
to book a woman's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Sure, give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, what time are you looking for around?
At 12 p.m.
We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15.
Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.?
Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for?
Just a woman's haircut for now.
Okay, we have at 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. is fine.
Okay, what's her first name?
The first name is Lisa.
Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Great. Have a great day. Bye.
That was a real call you just heard. The amazing thing is the assistant can actually understand the nuances of conversation. We've been working on this technology for many years.
You aren't talking to us, Harry.
What? Audio. No sound. What? You know what? I have like alright, so sorry. So like yeah, it's the future. The future's here, guys. You guys see that? It's the future. It took in English and responded with English.
Yeah, just they need to add that to AIs for all kinds of things, for robots and things like that.
Yeah. So if you ever wondered what is Google doing with all the communications that they're sucking from your Android phones from everywhere, this is what they've been doing with it. Well, one thing I should say. One thing they've been doing with it. Doing AI learning to build this. But it's I really want to like I'm not shocked I'm not shocked from it. I just want to see, well, how good is it? Now I just want to play with it. Send Shaniqua up there.
Yeah, I would love to be able to do that, because right now I have to sit there and I'm trying to work, but I've got to call doctors and pharmacies and all kinds of stuff. If I could just have an assistant do that for me and I don't have to pay somebody to do it, I can use a AI to do it. Why wouldn't I do that?
Right. But it's
if the key is it records the call, so I can play the call back later and make sure that everything was appropriate and nothing happened on the call that didn't, that would look badly on me later, that sort of thing. But as long as it's recording the calls, so I can do that, I'm all for trying this out. This sounds good.
But
are people upset about this?
The singularity people are upset about this. The people who really believe into and build into the singularity, where how the curve where eventually at one point of time we'll cross this point where the jobs will be taken away because the robots of the future will take everything.
But that's going to happen. They cannot stop that. I don't know why they're upset about it. They should accept the reality of what's going to happen.
You know why I'm upset about it? Because it just happened to me right here. Yeah. All right. Apple pushed an update. Okay. Apple pushed a goddamn update that says, like, I'm in my car when I'm talking usually. So like I have it plugged into a micro USB that connects to my iPhone. Apple's update makes it so like if it's not an Apple micro C USB, it's going to charge at half the rate that Apple's USB will. Like, how garbage is that?
That's bad. I mean, that's a anti-competitive practice that I think they can get in trouble for.
You have no proof, okay? You have no proof it does that.
Look,
they are making another change to their USB connectivity that is actually a good thing for security and privacy things. But It's actually anti-law enforcement, but that's another topic that we can get into.
That's later. How bad. That's how bad technology is getting. It's to a point where it's not just a singularity; it's like a corporate singularity where it has to be this own thing. Like, I can't just go to the gas station and buy a USB, pay $20 for it, right? Plug it into my car, plug it into my iPhone, because it's charging at half the rate. Because Apple's control of the technology is saying you have to buy this Apple product if you want your battery to go above 3%.
But they're going to get slammed for that. That's the stuff that Microsoft tried to do back in the 90s and got killed for. It's not, that won't fly.
It's
if
Apple,
they're doing
so
that. They will get smacked for that.
No, they won't, because they're doing it for safety reasons.
Well, no, and the other thing too is, if you have a phone that you have to buy Apple products in order to charge at full rate, or you can go buy an Android phone and buy any charger and do it at full rate, or are you going to switch over to an Android at that point? As long as there's competition, that stuff will get taken care of, right?
Yeah.
But when I plug in this one, like the one from the gas station, right? It stays at 1%, and it says device, it says device not authorized. But when I plug in the iPhone one, it says device authorized. They'll still both charge, but one is way slower than what the other one is. And like, I've tried it with multiple, chargers. It's the same thing unless it's the Apple one. And it's just like, okay, so you're limiting my recharge based on who sells me this. Like,
but is it that, or is it just because they have the technology in their chargers that lets the charge go faster, and somebody could make a duplicate of that and sell it, and you'd be able to use that instead?
It also has data in it. It is sensing it, and to see if it actually have the right UUID to respond that it is an Apple charger inside of it. Yeah.
It's just a bad thing with technology that makes it worse. Like, you're going to get to a point where, like, when machines do take over and like computers do take over, certain things, it has to be a certain brand. There's certain mainframes you have to use. If you don't use this mainframe with this product, it has to go with this. It's going to be 50% less efficient than if you use the one that's bought by the same company. Like, all technology companies try to push this shit, and it's always kind of lame when they do it. You can't have.
And they always fail doing it. That's the thing. It's always been a thing that's caught them in the end.
It's an antitrust thing, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just wait till new chargers come out, because people reverse engineer them all the time.
Yeah.
And make new ones, and it's like, here you go. But it's just a pain, because it's a waste of $20. I have to go in the house and get my actual iPhone charger and plug it into the car.
Well, it was like that. It was like that if you bought the 1.2 amp charger as opposed to the 2 amp charger. I mean, that was always the thing you had to look out for too on those micro USB chargers. So I don't know if it's the Apple doing a check to see if it's an Apple charger or not, or if it's just that they have something in their charger that allows it to charge faster.
Well, it worked fine. Like, I've had it for like quite a while. It worked fine until the last iOS update. Like this new update.
And they have been making changes to the USB stuff, the charging and the connectivity.
Mm-hmm. But this is not the first time Apple's tried to do that with multiple things on their devices. They always try to do it in some way where it's like, you have to have this Apple device for it to function, optimal. They'll say optimal. It's recommended and optimal. It's like, well, okay, you make checks.
Well, yeah, they're trying to. They've always kind of done that too. I mean, from day one, Apple's always been that really hardcore proprietary company. That's why I've always avoided Apples, because of that reason. I've never bought an Apple device or a computer or anything like that, because I don't want to be locked in like that.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I usually
Can I add?
I mean, even Microsoft at its worst was never as proprietary as Apple is.
Right. Yeah. And especially now, Windows is not the same Windows of the 90s. Windows is very open now. I should say.
Well, Windows has Linux inside of it. I mean, you can run Linux inside of Windows now.
Yeah. Yeah. Like my boss, like, he saw my laptop. He's like, oh, you're going to turn your desktop into a Linux machine? It's like, I don't have to. I got my laptop.
Windows and Linux.
Right, yeah, I got my laptop for fun, and I can just boot it up into a VM, do what I need to do, destroy my Linux VM, and I can still have Windows and get work done. It's the proper way to do it.
I mean, look at all the stuff that Apple did to try and keep people from running things like the virtual machines on their computers, I mean, they finally let people do the booting the Windows, but that took years of just pressure and fighting to make it even happen.
Yep, and I think a lot of people are noticing that they depreciate their hardware way too fast, because a lot of people are realizing like, wow, I can't use this Mac won't upgrade to High Sierra, but I can get Windows 10 on this thing, and it works perfectly good. Well, it works very well with Windows 10. He says, yeah.
Well, that was the other thing too. Is everybody kept saying, "Well, the Apple computers are so great, and they're because it's the Apple OS on the Apple product, and it works great, and everything else." And then when they finally allowed Windows to be on there, everybody went, "Wait a minute, this thing runs better under Windows."
Yeah, like the old MacBooks, the old ones, the old white ones, they run Windows 10 beautifully with like 4 gigs of RAM.
Right? I worked at a place where like, can we get a VM of like Mac going? I'm like, welcome to Mountain Lion, son. You know, that's the thing you can do. You can only use Mountain Lion. Like, I can't use the Yosemite. I can't use Elk Captain. Like, nope, just Mountain Lion. That's the only thing it's going to let it, because every other operating system after Mountain Lion has hardware ID checks. Yep. So it's going to check if like that motherboard is an Apple motherboard. If it's not, you're going to get a gray screen.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, because people were doing white boxes of Apple, to put Apple OS on, and they didn't want that. Now, Microsoft went a whole different route. That's why they were so popular, was because you could buy any computer and you put Windows on it, and it would work. Now, that brought in a lot of trouble, because now you're trying to run this OS that's supposed to run on, thousands of different pieces and combinations of hardware. So there's going to be problems. And everybody's, well, it's buggy. I'm like, well, no, they're trying to do things that, somebody like Apple doesn't have to do, because they know what's going to be on that hardware. Right.
But but the singularity thing is, how are you going to get to that point without like 2 or 3 companies monopolizing the shit out of it? It's like you're going to get to that point, but tech is still kind of like isolated into these little silos. It's not like free-range solutions.
But there's always going to be people writing the apps, right? So there's going to be specialized apps for everything, and those apps are going to be written by the software developers. Mm-hmm. So even with the Singularity we're running on, technically we're running on 2 or 3 different OSs right now. That's always kind of been the way. It's never been, 12 different OSs that we've ever run on. It's always been like, in the old days, it was the CPM machines, and it went into whether it was going to be like a Commodore 64 type of thing, and then Windows came out and Apple came out, and it started standardizing to where you had those two, and now you've got Google jumping in, so it gives you a third option, but still going to be those 3 options, right? And Linux is out there too, so you've got that. That's always going to be. There's always going to be 2 or 3 platforms, right? Because no one's going to. I don't think they're ever going to be just one platform for everything. I don't think anybody's going to take over that way.
Well, it's just the licensing is what hits you. Like if I'm a developer and I have this application I want to make money on, so I have to go to the Apple Store. I have to agree to like this 30-page terms of service of what I can and can't do with my own code on the Apple Store. Mm-hmm. And if I don't agree to it, my app never gets sold. Apple will pull the thing off there. Google does the same thing. Microsoft App Store does the thing as well. So you'd have to make like another third-party application download website, which is pretty janky anyway, because it's like people are like, well, if you don't like YouTube, make another YouTube. It's like no one has that infrastructure available to do that. You're talking like a data center of like, servers to run these things. Like, yeah, you can make a homebrew server, no problem. We can, share videos, but they're far ahead of you.
But if you want to make an app right now that you want to run on the Apple platform, on the Google platform, and on the Microsoft platform, you could do that in one code base now, right? You get Xamarin, you get the Microsoft, which is the best coding environment anyway. Slap Xamarin on that thing, and you can code one code and push it out to all 3 platforms.
There's going to be some guy in this channel right now. He's like, let me correct you. Notepad++ is the best IDE, and I'm going to die by it. It's like, shit.
No. If you're doing doing real work, you want to go Microsoft. If you're doing play work, if you want to play around with coding, then yeah, you can do whatever you want to with it. But you're not going to be able to use those tools. You're not like, okay, you're gonna code in Notepad++ or Ultra Edit or all these great coding environments, great for you. But see, Microsoft can do all the same things. Plus, they've got the Xamarin tools to push to all 3 platforms. Why would you stick with that other? I don't understand. I mean, a lot of the stuff I think is just people with their anti this beliefs or that or whatever. And that's fine. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. But don't try to tell me technically that that's not a cool thing to be able to do, to have one code base to push to 3 different platforms.
Do you remember when the CIA actually had like a backdoor into Notepad++? That was like a huge issue like 2 years ago, and a lot of people forgot about that. It was like the IDEs and stuff. Like Notepad++ had to do like a hot fix because like the CIA, like the actual CIA, had a backdoor into Notepad++ to view people's code in real time. I thought that was like the funniest shit. I'm like, it was on their webpage and everything. They showed the backdoor loophole. They showed who was CIA is spying on developers, and like nothing came of it. People just like updated it. I'm like, that's kind of funny because like that's a huge breach of security trust between like the U.S. government and technology. That as we push out like all this new tech and it becomes integrated into like everybody's life, that these government agencies have backdoors into all your technology, even into something as simple as Notepad. They can view.
I mean, everybody talks about open coding, open sources, and all that stuff. That stuff's going to get in there when you do that, right? Because if anybody can push to the code base, you don't think that the government's in there doing stuff to do that, and you can say, "Oh yeah, we checked the code. We can look at the code because we can see it." How long was that bug in Unix, in Linux? The DNS bug for 30 years. Yep. No one caught it.
30 freaking years. But Debian's usually very good, but by good, Debian just doesn't add anything. They just don't add anymore. They're just checking code. Hey, we got the new release. You just took stuff out. Yep. We want to add the other thing. That go ahead, fork it. But Debian Pure is this.
So I mean that's the whole conversation there. I still don't think even with like what Google's going to come out with this, you don't think Apple's going to come out with something just like it, and Microsoft's going to come out with something just like it too. So whichever platform you're using, you're going to be able to do this stuff eventually. They'll port the assistant onto the other platforms. Mm-hmm. Microsoft will port their stuff to anybody nowadays. They've always done that. They've always ported to wherever. And they were the biggest application seller on Apple for 30 years.
Yep. Oh yeah.
They're a software company. They don't care so much. The OS is great, but that's that made them who they are. But they're a software company. They don't care.
Yeah, they tried doing hardware. They got boned on that one. Even though the Surface tablet is badass, though.
And the Zune was the superior product to the iPod.
Oh yeah, the Zune was amazing. Anyone who dissed the Zune just never touched one. They would never.
It was so much better sounding. It was much better to use and handle. I mean, I had an iPod. I had a Zune. I had them both. And let me tell you, because my wife had an iPod, we got it for like almost free from something for some reason. So she had an iPod. I had the Zune. She was just like, "How do I use this thing?" I'm like, "The Zune, you just flip it up and it works." It worked. Great. Yeah. And that basis of that was on the phone. And that basis of the phone became what became the Zune and Windows 8. Mm-hmm. That came out of all of the Zune. So everybody's listening to Zune. You're using it now with Windows 10 and Windows 8.
I hate Windows 10, but Windows 8 is a beautiful operating system. That's probably why I love 8 so much, because I loved my Zune. I loved how it just worked.
Windows 10 can be exactly like Windows 8 if you set it up that way. It's not that hard because it's all still in there.
I know, and I'm doing that to my work computer, trying to get my Windows 10 to look like Windows 8. Because at home, I run Windows 8.
Use that start menu.
Except right now, I'm on my backup computer, which is running 7. Because this one, this one is you. Hey, I got the 2020. You leave me alone. I got the 2020.
I go to clients and they're still running Windows 7, and I'm just like, I got to touch these machines. It's so I can't think about it. It's just so. It was great. I mean, Windows 7 was great at the time.
Still is.
But we've come a long way.
Oh yeah. There's sometimes I get into Windows 7 and I was like, I want to. Damn it.
Well, just the update.
I just want to. I've gotten so used of hitting Windows X.
Yeah.
It's just like machine's broken. Oh yeah. Come down here again. But yeah. So
still work.
Windows X doesn't work on Windows 7.
Not on Windows 7. But the great thing now is that I had somebody who's wanted to upgrade a server, right? And we're like, well, we're gonna do an upgrade. I'm like, well, and should we do this? I'm like, well, they don't do upgrades like they used to anymore, right? So they're laying a fresh image down. They're not installing into the same directory structure as they, like they used to do, try to override over the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
They just put that into a different directory, lay down a fresh image, and copy your settings over it. That is it.
It's far superior.
Yes, much, much better.
Anyway, so like you guys are talking about that, I put on the screen was F-Droid. The F-Droid is independent community source app store for Android that is completely free and open source software. With F-Droid, you can browse over 1,200 open source apps, search and install apps from create repositories, or create your own repository. Open F-Droid.org on your Android phone to download the app and get started. F-Droid.org.
1,200 apps.
1,200 open source apps.
Do you remember how much crap that Microsoft got because they only had like 150,000 apps or something?
Well, that was junk. They were junk. Anyways, 1,200 open source apps.
We're not going to use that store. It's only got 100,000 apps. Look at it. Apple's got 1 million. Blah blah blah. They're all crap, but okay.
They're all crap.
They're all games. They're all games trying to get you to give them money.
Yeah,
microtransact.
Give me money. Anyway, so in the chat, like Anar said, I'm pretty surprised. Why wouldn't Google charge for this virtual assistant, or are they planning to? Because I'd still pay for it. They're going to make you charge for it because most people won't. Because it's not going to be an Android Pure. It's just going to be in Google's skin of Android. So you'll pay by buying new hardware.
Or we don't know yet. I mean, they may actually decide to start selling something at one point. Who knows?
Correct. Yeah, or an update to it, or to do that feature there. Who knows?
Because Microsoft's going to make it the same thing. They're probably working on it too. They just haven't announced it yet. So they're going to try and come out with something like that, and they'll port it and they'll tie it into Office 365 subscription or something.
Man, that'd be awesome. Can you imagine that? It'd be great. Put that in Office 365. Integrate.
Office 365, best application. That's why I moved from Windows Phone. I went to Android because it just kind of got to that point where I had to, and I got the Microsoft launcher because that way I could use the dang thing.
I got to upgrade someone today. I almost said it was a Monday from Office. What was it, 2012 or something like that he was running, to Office 365. He's like, oh, I don't want to upgrade. The Office is fine. Office is Office. Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah. It's like, no, they're like, well, how much more can you even add to Office? Office has everything in it already. Oh, it has a lot more stuff in it, doesn't it?
Well, look at this. And then, I think the moment I was able to sync it right from his PC desktop to his iPad, blew him away.
Yeah, I got all my documents up on my OneDrive. Everything is just. I mean, I know a lot of companies I know are putting in corporate OneDrives.
Yeah,
which is kind of SharePoint, but it's a merging of the.
It's not SharePoint, but SharePoint.
The public OneDrive and then the SharePoint, they're kind of merging together to come into the OneDrive corporate. Yep. And but it's you can get stuff done and use Teams to get everything done. I mean, they've really got it nailed down for companies, right? Mm-hmm. Companies wanting to get work done, you go to Microsoft. And
Yep. If you want to get work done, you're running Microsoft. It is what it is. That's what you're running. Okay. So that's your show. So remember, next week on Wednesday, it's not going to be Loki Wall Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Loki Wall will be at 10 o'clock. 10:30 next Friday. So remember, 10:30 next Friday, and it will be that way for a while because as I get ready to transition into this whole move and get things moved, so understand that is what is going to happen. So spread the word. If you see people, or if you see people gathering out on Wednesday, they're like, "Hey, where's Loki Wall?" Just remind them it's Friday at 10:30. You, the hardcore, you amazing people who watch this whole show and hang out with us and communicate in the chat. I'm looking for you guys for help. So please, see point someone do it.
So
All right, so
are we keeping the name?
Huh?
Are we keeping the name Low-Key Wall then?
Yeah, we'll just keep it for right now. I have, I could go to We Are Basementarians. I can call it Cyber Weapon, but for right now, I'm just gonna keep Low-Key Wall. I don't know. I think to me it's stuck.
Yeah, we've been using it long enough now.
Yep. So let's Reinhold, do you want to wrap up, or you want me to go Sailor Moon first?
Whichever. I can go real quick because I've got to run too. So just if you want to follow me on social media, it's at Reinhold on Twitter, at Reinhold TV if you just want to know about gaming stuff, and Reinhold.org for my blog, which I'm going to start maybe putting some more articles up on now that I'm getting back into things.
Yeah.
And I just found the old missing initial podcast audio of Politinerd. I'm going to get that put up and start putting new podcasts out for that. I found it on another hard drive last night working on some stuff on my computer, and I found it. I'm like, yay.
Yeah. All right, Sailor Moon. Nice. By the way, Nice had 2,000 plus votes. I don't think you got it.
Yeah, as I was hearing you guys talk, I was I have it on my phone, so I'm on my Facebook, and right now I'm just calling Israel a terror state. You can't be a libertarian unless you're like talking in this Discord channel, then shit posting on Facebook at the same time about Israel. And like there's a war going on apparently right now, so that's the essence of libertarianism. If you're not sitting there calling people out, be like, I stand with Israel, and you're like, listen here, cuck. But same thing. No more Apple shit with their proprietary stuff. No more fighting for Israel and Iran. And the more I hear about Israel, the more I'm just kind of thinking, like, certain European countries, they probably weren't that wrong. But that's not a politically correct thing to say.
All right. Original character Do Not Steal. Do you have anything to wrap up on?
No, not really.
We got to talk about Liberty and Jill. No.
I mean, it's happening Friday, the same place, same time.
Thank you. Tried to bring down your enthusiasm for Liberty and Jill this Friday.
No, I've been failing in my duties as the person appointed to kind of wrangle that entire project, and I just have to blame work, and it ain't easy being cheesy. I'll just say it that way.
All right. Thank you. I hope you're happy with yourself. All right. So, that being said, everybody, thanks for tuning in to Low Key WAL. I was going to say Liberty 2 live stream. I don't know why. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. I had a blast. Also, so don't forget Friday doing that. Also, I'm also going to start to make room in the basement because I think I might actually go back to my basement studio and record there. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it because now that it's getting warmer out, Lace is wanting to use the living room more, and because Gunther's moving around more often. So that's her making noise because I kicked her off in the other room. So we may be moving down back down the basement to the recording studio. So yay! Who knows? Might get better quality. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I'm ending the stream now. Bye, everybody. Say bye. Bye.